2018 BMW 5 Series Saloon Review. The good points of BMW 5 Series Saloon. Great to operate a vehicle. Strong engines. Exceptional comfort. Packed with technology. Best-in-class standard kit. The bad points of BMW 5 Series Saloon. Drive varies in accordance with spec. E-Class features a bigger boot. Only 2 trim levels. Occasionally jerky gear changes. The BMW 5 Series can be a premium executive saloon which is now rolling around in its 7th generation. Lighter, stronger and more efficient than its predecessor, that has been consistently the best-selling car rolling around in its class. The most recent 5 Series remains centered on BMW's traditional values of driving pleasure and satisfaction. This car adds increased levels of luxury to your mix, by having an intricate, high-quality design, generally plush ride comfort as well as a large volume of cutting-edge technologies, many of which have filtered down on the flagship BMW 7 Series. Entry-level SE specification has more standard equipment than any rival, meaning furthermore, it adds great value to your challenge it presents towards the Audi A6, Mercedes-Benz E-Class, Jaguar XF and Lexus GS. Still the supreme driving machine? The all-new model features 5 engine variants, 520d and 530d turbodiesels plus 530i and 540i turbo petrols, including a plug-in hybrid 530ei performance. More economical and in some cases sportier choices set to participate in the range shortly afterwards. All 5 Series come having an 8-speed automatic gearbox, that is largely an outstanding transmission, with all the option of X-Drive all-wheel drive on just about the 530i and 530e. Performance is incredibly strong, and along with handling that feels immediately more agile compared to preceding 5 Series, this is really a big, comfortable, high-licensed car that will cover even tricky roads exceptionally quickly. While the inside may not have quite the wow factor in the Mercedes E-Class, the 5 Series has lots of passenger space back and front, and feels noticeably more composed from behind the controls, and this applies to both driving fast and cruising gently. Trim levels and technology. UK buyers possess the choice of SE or M Sport trim levels, while using 520d efficient dynamics to be a standalone model. Satellite and navigation is suited as standard on all 5 Series, since it is on every BMW. Technology highlights about the 5 Series include the most up-to-date iDrive infotainment system, with optional touchscreen and gesture control, an optional head-up display that's 70% bigger than before, along with the optional Driving Assistant Plus, a different suite of electronic aids that represent a stepping stone towards self-driven cars. Indeed, new 5 Series can safely change lanes about the motorway with no driver touching the tire. This is absolutely just the tip in the iceberg regarding tech, though. The best BMW 5 Series to acquire. Fuel economy-minded buyers will likely be particularly thinking about the 520d efficient dynamics if it arrives, mainly because it emits as low as 102 gkm CO2, the same as an official fuel consumption figure of 72.4 miles per gallon, as well as the 530ei performance plug-in hybrid. This claims 44 gkm and 148.7 miles per gallon, but at considerable additional cost to both your wallet and also your suspension of disbelief. The 540i will probably be of least interest to UK buyers, as a result of its comparative profligacy. We do not receive the M550i X-Drive high-performance model offered about the continent as BMW will not be building it in right-hand drive. A fully blown M5 with supercar rivaling pace are going to be coming our strategies by the not-too-distant future, however. Whichever 5 Series you ultimately choose, you'll get a car that may be right towards the top of its class. BMW 5 Series Saloon Model History. October 2016, 7th generation 5 Series Saloon on the market to order for February 2017 delivery. Only SE and M Sport specifications can be found, each paired while using launch choice of 520D, 520D X-Drive, 530i, 530D, 530D X-Drive and 540i X-Drive. December 2016, plug-in hybrid 530e on the market to order in A&M Sport specification. Claimed array of up to 29 miles on electric in the power. The state-run efficiency rating is 141.2 miles per gallon and 46 gkm of CO2 for your SAVE version. January 2017. Available to order for March delivery will be the 520D Efficient Dynamics, only combined with SAE specification. Official claims of 72.4 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of 102 gkm. Watch the total BMW 5 Series Saloon review to discover why this four-door stalwart is worth considering. Turbocharged petrol, diesel and hybrid options. Lusty 540i races from 062 miles per hour in less than 5 seconds. All versions of the 5 Series are powered by engines from BMW's modular family. This means regardless with the number of cylinder 4 or 6 at launch and whether drink petrol or diesel, they're all fundamentally related and many types of fitted with turbochargers for increased performance and efficiency. BMW 540i. The most robust engine at launch would be the 340 horsepower 3.0-liter 6-cylinder turbo petrol inside the 540i. Although we've only driven it with rear-wheel drive, inside UK this engine is going to be exclusively paired together with the X-Drive all-wheel drive system. Having tried the X-Drive system from the 530D below, we've little doubt this combination will almost certainly feel really quick, and even 062 miles per hour is quoted at 4.8 seconds while top speed is electronically limited by 155 miles per hour. Strangely, it's not by far the most exciting engine, however. The raw speed isn't undoubtedly, but such an enormous dollop of torque minus 450 Nm right from 1,380 revolutions per minute to 200 revolutions per minute. There's no drama to your way it delivers its performance. The noise celebrate is pretty boring, too. BMW 520D. The 520D, a motorroom fire we're looking to be incredibly popular on account of its appealing combination of on-paper fuel economy, tax bills and gratification, is often a well-known option from the 5 Series range, and historically has sold in huge numbers. We think it is more than adequate with the job during our initial test out. It lacks the 530D's extra couple of cylinders offers, except for most the savings produced in purchase and running costs over make up with this. With a 062 miles per hour duration of just over 7 seconds it's hardly what you'd call slow. As well as the compulsory 8-speed automatic gearbox works almost faultlessly to offer the correct ratio if it's required. BMW 530D. Curiously, this 265 horsepower 3.0-liter 6-cylinder turbodiesel is a lot more satisfying there driving than the 540i. It feels barely any slower, along with 620 Nm it packs a good bigger slug of torque, supplying you with a proper thump inside the back anytime you have a sudden should accelerate hard. Coupled with significantly better fuel economy, as well as a refined but meaty soundtrack, we'd certainly pick one of these in the 3.0-liter petrol. Just 5.4 seconds or 5.7 seconds without X-Drive are needed to the 062 miles per hour sprint, along with the immense traction and the all-wheel drive technique is truly impressive. We didn't begin to see the stability control light flicker once, despite consistent train over the lengthy launch drive, yet nor could we detect the torque being shuffled involving the axles inside the hunt for grip. Top speed is again electronically on a 155 miles per hour. The 8-speed transmission fitted in both variants is usually unflappable, but we did occasionally think it is slow to downshift within the 540i. Where pacier upshifts also experienced a tendency to feel uncomfortably aggressive. BMW 530ei performance. Offering sometimes a person impossible mix of frugality and gratification, the hybrid 5 Series utilizes a 4-cylinder petrol engine as well as an electric motor to channel 252 horsepower from the rear wheels. This promises comparable acceleration for the 530i. sprinting from 062 miles per hour in 6.2 seconds and leaning of your 420 Nm wedge of torque from making speedy in-gear progress. It's a convincing substitute for diesel. Driven sedately, it's quiet and efficient and hard to share with which power source you're using. Less smooth throttle inputs apparently take the petrol engine aback, however, creating a noticeable changeover from electric mode towards the conventional powertrain. Charging the car battery takes 5 hours at a normal domestic socket or under 3 if you possess a wall box, and BMW reckons combined you will get 29 miles of pure electric driving or nearly 400 miles combined. Top electric-only speed is 87 miles per hour. When it's in hybrid mode you could expect 146 miles per hour. Other 5 Series engines. We can't yet comment around the 4-cylinder performance on the 530i petrol even as we are yet to operate a vehicle it. But we can easily tell you that it'll do 062 miles per hour in as small as 6.2 seconds and includes a top speed electronically limited by 155 miles per hour, standard suspension and steering not tested yet. Options designed to produce it handle a lot better. A very satisfying car they are driving. First, a caveat. Each of the 5 series we have now tested until now have been fitted with optional integral active steering, BMW's 4-wheel steering system and dynamic damper control, variable rate adaptive suspension with a selection of comfort and sport profiles. Dynamic damper control. What's especially impressive regarding the dynamic damper control will be the degree of flexibility between comfort and sportiness it provides. In handling terms, this means you not have to choose between an automobile that's great fun from the corners plus a car that's comfortable using a long journey, especially since there's an adaptive setting that instantly changes the character from the 5 Series as soon since it detects the type of driving you're doing at the time. Integral active steering. The integral active steering, meanwhile, is designed to produce the car turn faster at low speeds and feel more stable at high speeds. A trick it achieves by electronically varying the angle from the rear wheels as much as 3 degrees. Yes, a corner wheel steer and also the fronts. The stunning part about that is not much that it works in the manner described, instead that it be able to really detect modifications, the 5 Series continuing merely to feel natural all the time. As an outcome, so equipped this car absolutely lives nearly BMW's history of putting driver enjoyment the main point on its products. Add an X-Drive also, and you've got an all-weather executive express that certainly has got the potential to leave many a sports vehicle driver feeling very sorry by themselves. 520D or 530D? We found the 520D's handling being fractionally less involving versus the 530D's. Presumably because on the extra weight in the latter's nose. That isn't to express that either car is detrimental in this respect, but the more robust model is noticeably more engaging because its nose communicates much more about how much grip you've got in corners. Beautifully finished inside. Design evolution increases spaciousness. Optional extras include HUD and gesture control. BMW's traditional driver-orientated interior layout has undergone an upgrade for the most recent 5 Series. It's still recognizably a BMW inside, however the newly freestanding central display makes it seem more spacious and airy beforehand, while an important increase in design intricacy helps supply the dashboard a first-class impression of quality without making its features much harder to use. The rotary controller continues to be the principal, along with perhaps most intuitive, means of interacting with all the iDrive infotainment system. But the software has become redesigned to generate it easier make use of the optional touchscreen capability, plus the 5 Series now offers gesture control also. Gesture control, don't bother. This continues to be improved since its introduction inside the 7 Series. Now reacts more quickly, sufficient reason for greater consistency on the small quantity of hand and finger movements it understands, permitting you to do items like dismiss on-screen notifications and change the actual without touching nearly anything. It's a bit of the gimmick still, though, so we'd probably save the money for something more useful. Head-up display, do bother. The also optional head-up display is a bit more useful. This projects information on top of the lower portion with the windscreen in front on the driver so you don't have to look away on the road to find out, as an example, the rate you're traveling at or perhaps the satellite and navigation instructions. With a 70% larger area, it's now handier than previously. BMW has long been one of the pioneers with this technology, and yes, it shows. Top quality almost everywhere. Emphasizing a person's eye to detail, BMW has become going to as a way to compete using the quality of Mercedes interiors. Some elements from the dashboard inside the 5 Series are individually laser scanned, making sure that adjoining pieces can be done to exactly match them, for each and every individual car. It's unfortunate then how the knobs for the climate control feel a little bit cheap. This aside, we now have no complaints, and believe Audi is likely to need to significantly up its game to check its German rivals using its next generation A6. Specific dials to the hybrid. Pick the 530e hybrid and you'll notice a few changes to your instrument cluster. There's a tiny secondary dial showing battery range. This looks just like a petrol gauge plus a remodeled rev counter. On one side in this dial there is usually a charge zone to produce when the batteries are topped up, and also the other shows the amount power both electric and petrol you've got in reserve, in connection with how flat your right foot is. Floor it plus the needle rushes in the evening 40% mark denoting the most electric drive available, as well as the petrol engine will become up. Using this gauge it's possible to hold the 530e in electric mode without firing in the conventional motor. Exceptionally good ride quality with adaptive suspension. Very comfortable seats. Brilliant long-distance mile muncher. Even without testing the non-adaptive suspension, that is available in standard and sport guises, the second firmer having a 10 mm decline in ride height, we're near declaring the optional dynamic damper control absolutely essential by. Paired with 18-inch wheels and smaller 17-inch wheels are standard on, say the ride quality is exceptional, for the point where you commence aiming at potholes for entertainment. This is really a big step forward within the preceding generation of 5 Series. Choose your wheels carefully. It turns into a bit thumpier over bad surfaces in the event you go approximately 19-inch wheels. However, compared together with the tinny sensations you have from the most recent Mercedes A-Class over lumps and bumps, the BMW always feels reassuringly solid and substantial. In fact, the 5 Series is often a soothing long-distance cruiser all-round, really. The seats are extremely comfy, with numerous adjustments, with an optional massaging function that truly feels like it's doing you the right, even though the straight-line stability helps it be a relaxing partner for lengthy motorway journeys. Refinement can be another strong point, with zero vibrations inside the cabin and the right amount of engine noise to remind you which you're driving an auto from a sporty brand. While the 530e hybrid is whisper quiet when operating in electric mode, the 4-cylinder petrol engine turns into a little noisy and coarse when pushed hard. What's more, the quality is such Hose suggests the 5 Series continue to feel this beneficial to a long time to return. Just 2 trims inside UK. Standard spec is generous. Hybrid model has unique badging. The BMW 5 Series recently 2 trim levels from the UK SE and M Sport. The manufacturer claims that SE is way better equipped than any rival's entry-level specification, and due to the list of fitted kit we come across no reason to disbelieve them. Standard BMW 5 Series saloon equipment. Standard SE spec boasts a lot of kit, including sedan with real-time traffic updates, 20 GB music storage, Apple CarPlay and DAB radio. Firstly, you also obtain the drive performance control selector with eco, comfort and sport settings, front and back parking sensors, heated seats and automatic lights and wipers for convenience. Styling and tech highlights include LED headlights, 17-inch alloy wheels, dual-zone air conditioning, digital dials and cruise control. M Sport adds mostly cosmetic changes intended to supply the 5 Series a far more sporting character. Some examples are different front seats, sportier brakes on more robust models and 18-19-inch wheels determined by engine choice. You go for high-gloss black trim, LED fog lights with an AM body kit alongside plenty of M badges. This theme keeps on inside, with AM door sills, floor mats, pedals and wheel, including a black headliner and aluminum trim. The BMW 530i Performance can be purchased in SE or Sport trims, but in addition gains a Larry blue front grille and alloy wheel details, plus e-drive badging for the rear pillars. Optional BMW 5 Series Saloon accessories. The new 5 Series might be better equipped than ever before, but this just has recently made more room within the options list for only fancier extras. Examples include display key, a key which has a screen inside it that allows someone to access a lot of basic info in regards to the car, to preset the heating and activate the handheld remote control parking function. Another extra. Yes, this theoretically means it is possible to park your 5 Series without being within the car, but we haven't had time to test this yet. Bowers Wilkins Diamond Surround Sound System, top choice from 4 Hi-Fi systems. This features 10-channel amplification, 16 speakers, 1,400 watts and illuminated speaker grills, expensive and slightly underwhelming. Rear seat entertainment, referred to as the experience system, this features 2 individually controlled 10.2-inch screens for your rear seat passengers with built-in Blu-ray players and connections for MP3 players and video games consoles. Not forgetting the head-up display, gesture control and touchscreen capabilities discussed earlier within this review, nor the Driving Assistant Plus package discussed inside the safety section. Lots of high-tech safety kit. But a lot of it is only optional. Windscreen wipers strangely poor. Euro NCAP gave the 2017 BMW 5 Series the full 5 stars in the event it tested it, as well as the standard specification covers each of the critical bases, including 6 airbags, electronic stability control and tire pressure monitoring system. The hybrid 530e is included with some extra tech including cross-traffic alert, would-be the blind spot monitoring and active side collision protection. Where it gets exciting is inside realm of optional extras, especially the Driving Assistant Plus package, which wraps up an entirely suite of driver aids intended to help keep you better informed as well as take control with the car in abbreviation periods. What Driving Assistant Plus includes: evasion aid, alerts that you unexpected obstacles ahead helping control the auto during sudden movements to prevent them. Lane change assistant, pitched as comfort enhancing, actually allows someone to change lanes simply by activating the indicator for a few seconds, completely manipulating the safe steering on the car in the next lane. Lane keeping assistant with active side collision protection, besides warns you should you're gonna stray outside of lane but if another vehicle seems set using a collision course. Steering and lane control assistant, will steer the auto for short periods, as long mainly because it can detect the lane markings both sides. Works as much as 130 miles per hour as well as only a light touch on the tire to reset, but is confused by slip roads. Priority warning, spots and alerts you to definitely places where you ought to give way, especially stop signs. Wrong way warning, informs you if it thinks you're about drive an automobile the wrong way down a street or motorway. Active cruise control, not simply maintains a safe distance on the car before but spots and may react to changes within the speed limit too. Cross-traffic warning, detects vehicles approaching on the side, at junctions so when you're reversing. Our only negative about the safety front strangely comes through the windscreen wipers. They have got only 2 standard speed settings, meaning you can't set these to maximum speed manually during really tempestuous weather. The automatic setting goes faster, but doesn't do this consistently, which is often unnerving in a very downpour, to mention the least. Seats 5 in comfort and space. Boot is smaller than the India class. Hybrid version loses 120 liters of space. The 5 Series carries a low, sporty seating position. This means even together with a shift to an even more coupe-like roofline due to this latest model, there's still a good amount of room inside for nearly 5 passengers. Headroom is generous plus it feels spacious and airy back and front. We've Al Wachi mentioned how comfortable the seats are, Although associated with pension transfer executive saloons, the center rear passenger doesn't get quite a real good deal. Luggage space. The boot is 530 liters in capacity, which can be 10 liters shy in the Mercedes A-Class. Nevertheless, you must pack too sensibly to adjust to in everyone's bag using a run on the airport. Interior storage is limited to your usual central cubbies, door pockets and glove box. These struck us as neither especially large nor disappointingly small. 530e makes using a smaller boot. Batteries to power the electric motor are already stashed under the spine seats, the location where the petrol tank usually goes, and this may be moved backwards where it eats into boot space. As such, at this point you get 410 liters of chance to load luggage into. However, it does mean the boot floor sits flush from the lip, making it easier to put heavy items. There's also a little section with the floor that will be lowered, creating a recessed section for smaller items to get stored in.